but not least, our best man, Blake.
Thank you. Come on, guys. So I'd first like to apologize on Will's behalf to all of you for making you sit through 3 of these instead of the typical 2. So thanks. But for those of you that I haven't met, my name is Blake Reeves, and I have the honor of being Will's co-best man with Christian. And the way you'll know that Christian wasn't lying during his speech is that I have hit on a lot of the same topics about Will. Will and I first met in college at the University of Arizona in 2012, and the first thing I ever said to Will was "nice shirt" in the most sarcastic tone that I could muster. I would later find that sarcasm was also a gift Will was blessed with. Will was wearing his favorite Stanley Cup t-shirt of the LA Kings, and I, as a crosstown rival of the Anaheim Ducks, just couldn't pass up the opportunity. As you might expect, Will responded with a just as witty, sarcastic retort, and we laughed it off. What I didn't know in that moment was that that was just one of 3 shirts Will had brought with him to college. Apparently, while packing for the biggest moment of his life up to that point, going away to school, he thought that shirt and then 2 shirts he got in high school baseball were all he needed to get through the first semester. This is the first peek I had into what I would come to know about Will. He was a little old school, he was reliable, loyal, and he knew what he liked. Will and I lived together through most of college and joined the same fraternity. Early on, Will was very much a guy's guy, and by that I mean he had no interest in women. He was all about hanging with the boys. And his favorite activity was actually the lack of an activity. He liked hanging out, shooting the shit, waiting around to see what would present itself out of our boredom. If not in class, you could find Will at the fraternity house. If you needed someone to play Xbox with, Will was your guy. You needed someone to help you move some furniture, Will was there. If you needed motivation to finish the paper you were procrastinating on, Will was not your guy. In fact, he liked hanging with the guys so much that junior year, he convinced our friend Brian to move all of his furniture out of his room into Will's so that they could use Brian's as a dojo to hang out in. Other college shenanigans included fishing a turtle out of the campus pond with his bare hands, running through our friend Steven's bedroom door in the middle of the night, twice, dressing up as a mariachi band to sing karaoke at the local tiki bar, and driving round trip from Tucson to LA on a Sunday night without sleeping to see a Blink-182 concert. Monday morning class be damned. Will's a man of many talents. He can recite the presidents. He's gifted with impersonations. Does a mean, whiny pop punk voice like Blink-182. He's an incredible memory and a quick wit. But he's also the most reliable, loyal friend you could ask for. The kind of guy you would truly trust with your life, would show up for you at the hospital on Christmas Day or pick you up at LAX at 5 o'clock on a Friday. After living in a fraternity house for the majority of our college careers, after graduating and moving back to LA, Will and I did the obvious thing. We moved into the closest thing we could find to a fraternity house. That was a house that would become known as Westgate. And while Will and I were supposedly mature post-grads with big boy jobs, his love for shenanigans very much continued. That would include putting 5 TVs in the living room every Saturday in the fall to watch college football, chipping golf balls in the front yard through the neighbor's windshield, and befriending an elderly Middle Eastern man named Jafar, the owner of the liquor store across the street, in an effort to get discounted alcohol and scratch-off lotto tickets. Westgate was often chaos. Sticky floors, a broken refrigerator, the occasional hole in the wall, and the host of many parties. But out of that chaos came one beautiful thing, and that was Megan. As you likely know, Will and Megan met at an Irish bar in West LA. What you might not know is that after the bar, Will convinced Megan to come back to Westgate for one more drink. Don't get too excited. Upon arrival, Megan and her friend Verlander, astounded by the state of our living quarters, chugged one drink as quickly as humanly possible and headed for the exits. Despite this early setback, Will was committed in his pursuit of Megan. Much like his shirts, Will knew what he liked, and that was her. On the surface, she was perfect for him. Irish, Catholic, and if you squinted a little, she looked like Will's longtime celebrity crush and professional soccer player, Kelly O'Hara. Now, I must confess, early on, I was not the biggest fan of Megan. Not because of anything she did. It's just that during COVID, Will would go hang out with her and leave me stuck at Westgate with two of, and I can say this because they're not here, the worst roommates of all time. Great guys, but terrible roommates. Will would run off and hang out in Megan's quiet, calm, clean apartment and leave me fighting for my life at Westgate. Sticky floors, smelled like beer and pizza from the leftover weekend. As I got to know Megan, I saw the same qualities in her that made Will such a great friend. She was also dependable, loyal, cared deeply about her family, friends, and about Will. She loved Will for who he was, and I saw how comfortable that made Will around her, unafraid to be his full self. It quickly became clear that Megan was not just a partner for Will, but she was his perfect match. Megan and Will, you were a fantastic team. You complement each other in the best possible ways. It's been a true joy to see your relationship flourish. Will, I hope you always think of Megan as your dream girl the way you did in those early days. And Megan, I hope you'll always find joy and comfort in Will and love him fully, even the weird parts. Now, if you could please join me in raising your glass. I'm gonna try to do both of this. Megan and Will, your love for each other may it forever continue to grow stronger, and may the amazing qualities you both share guide you to a fruitful, rich, long, and beautiful life. Cheers. Cheers. Thanks, brother. Love you guys.
The boys' leg. Good job,